Hey Sean, I'm George from MovieWeb. How are you?
George, thanks for having me, man. What's going on?
Likewise, great to be here. So I want to start by asking, obviously one of the big parts of this movie is the car chases as set pieces. And I want to know, I guess first part, what are some inspirations for you cinematically with that? And then two, kind of, what did you guys do uniquely to create the version of it that you're pulling off?
Yeah, it was important to me that, these chases were all practical, because like the rest of the movie's grounded in such a way that you want believability and the emotional and the relationships. And I felt like if once all of a sudden you have big CG chases, people are not buying in a real way.
Hmm.
And so had made this whole pitch book of a bunch of different movies. And then the funny thing is, I saw the Jack Reacher car chase again and went, "Oh, it's just this. Like, this is what I want to get." And luckily we got Paul Jennings, who had done that chase. We really made out because, in a tough time. I hate saying made out in a tough time because there was a strike. A lot of people, got into tough times, but we put together a car team because it was so slow in the business at the time that we would have never gotten. And Paul just said, we need to have him in the cars if you want that, because you don't have Tom Cruise, who will stay in the car and drive off cliffs if you ask him to. But we put him in the cars and it feels real. And we did everything we could and every technique, and those pods on the top of the cars where someone else was driving, and it all, I think, came together in a way where I bought every second of it, you know.
So Talon was in the Talon was in the cars. They had to pull a Tom Cruise a little bit.
They had to. I mean, other people were driving, but it was like every second of those things going that fast had those two in it.
Yes.
And yeah, it was great.
Okay, so sort of similar to that, but on a different scale, there's a real emotional depth to this. Like we've got some serious issues, like human issues, really like class issues, I would say. What was your approach to sort of trying to capture in a movie that's fun and has car chases and jokes, something about people not being able to even afford what used to be standard for every
Hey,
American?
I mean, that it was the whole point going in. I mean, this comes from the trappings of class and addiction and, mental illness. I grew up in Brockton, Massachusetts, which is pretty, hard town. Two most famous people from there are Rocky Marciano and Marvin Hagler, people who punch each other in the head for a living. And so, grew up watching my dad fight in the hockey rink. And there was a lot of, there was oxy, problem there for when I was a kid for a very long time. So, I was interested in telling stories about these strange shapes of family. You got
Mm.
people raised by their grandmother, by their uncle, or like a guy moving in with his girlfriend's family because he has nowhere else to go. And this happened to be a story about this very strange family. It's all they had was each other and
Yeah.
loyalty and
Yeah.
class. Like that again, you're the first person to bring up class, and this movie is about class to some degree.
Yeah, feels very clear to me. I'm gonna run out of time, so before I do, I have to ask. I thought Marshawn Lynch was incredible. I've always loved him, but he's just awesome, and it works. And I want to hear a little bit about directing Marshawn Lynch, and or, like he's got to do a prequel, right? You guys got to do a
I
prequel
know.
about him.
I keep talking about making a Sweetie movie, the guy you never see in the movie who's dead. And Marshawn would definitely be in that. But no, he's the most warm, generous, hard work. Like it's crazy how grateful he was every day. He's just as nice as he seems like in those interviews and anything he does. And like he wanted to learn, like he was taking the opportunity he came back and did ADR work after, and he had been working with someone obviously because he came in and he was better prepared and had better like lines than any of the other actors on the damn. Like, oh my god, he leveled up. He like completely leveled up. He was like a super pro when he came back. It was so funny. But
Beast mode.
yeah, I mean, he obviously, those people who have that mind, ones that Tom Brady mind, Marshawn Lynch mind, like, they'll figure it out how to get it done.
That's awesome. Talk about taking Samara through some of these really at the end. I'm not going to spoil anything, but that is so intense to direct someone to help someone through a performance like that in that scene. The note one, I think you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff in the end that she just, she's amazing. And I mean, I was lucky enough to have a very super collaborative partnership with her. And she came in very prepared because we had a whole strike after we cast her. So she
Mm.
was, she'd been working on it a long time. And then you get to set and it changes again. And she was ultra, every time we talked about something after and she'd be able to change on a dime. Yeah, she's her and Carl and that Andy and her scene at the end, like all that stuff together, like the emotional work she's doing was super challenging
Yeah.
and nailed it. I mean, I'm so proud of that section of the movie. I can't even tell you.
Well, great work. Thanks for taking the time and congrats and have fun with the premiere and stuff.
I appreciate
Later.
it, man. Thanks for having me.